Hey, let me just drop the everyone tag if it'll let me. And I'll say hey again because it does the thing where it blacks out and tells me it's now live after it said it was live. Okay, group. Really quick. Let me just gonna do it again. There we go. See if it'll work today, guys. It's so weird. It let me use it in a regular post, but then when I try and use it on a live, it only wants to let me highlight, which is really frustrating. And then when I try and use it from the computer, it's like, you can't do that. It's dumb. All right, so I'm going to highlight again, and I apologize, guys. I do the best I can to use the everyone. Okay, explanation in the comments. Hey, oh, what up? Welcome to Tuesday Tales, and I, again, apologize about the everyone tag. I don't know why it's going to be so difficult. I also don't know why I have to be so in the dark. That's a little bit better. Not great. Why am I so in the dark? What's happening? Anyways, it just keeps getting worse. Like, it's fine if I put my hand up here. No? It gets better. Oh, it's because I'm blocking more of the window. I know why. Sorry, guys. Super distracted. These don't help a lot, but they help a little. So, welcome to Tuesday Tales. I'm going to talk about something a little weird. I mean, it's not weird. Here it is. So, we all have probably heard, my dog's looking at me like I'm weird talking to myself. He's like, who are you talking to, Mom? We've already heard the phrase or like somebody say something about or even experienced the idea that our external world is a reflection of our internal world. You've probably heard that, right? Sorry. So oftentimes people are like, I need to declutter. I'm really stressed and it's the clutter. I've been there, done that, right? Like the clutter in my office, I cannot think, I cannot process, it's too much. And there's something completely accurate about that, right? Like we want to focus our minds, we should clear the area around us. However, if this just occurred to me, yes, I saw someone else post about this, and I was like, oh, and I've been thinking about it for 24 hours, which is why we're having this conversation, because this is not what we were going to talk about today. Which is, I've been doing that a lot. Like, things come up, and I change my mind. But I saw someone else post about it, and it's just been on my mind, because it's just like, okay, so wait a minute. Time out. We know the thing. We say the thing. It's, I know that my external reality, what is around me, is a reflection of what is going on within me. So I'm going to clean up my external reality? I'm going to clean my office? Excuse me, say what? Did anybody else catch that? Has it hit you yet? Anybody else? Where it's like, oh shit, yeah, that's kind of fucked up and dumb. That, my friends, is the exact problem with this whole like, I'm going to solve my horse's mystery lameness, but I'm only going to treat the symptom. Like, people are doing it all the time. This is why we're not, order of operations fucking matters. And this is why we're not making progress with our horses. Because the order of operations matters, and we say the order of operations matters, and we recognize that we're treating symptoms, and yet we continue to treat the fucking symptom. We say that the external reality is a reflection of what's going on within us, and then we clean up the outside. Like, that's going to make a fucking difference. Are we kidding? No, guys. If you want to clean up your external reality, yes, clean your office, clean your kitchen, clean your fucking barn, whatever it is, that needs to be done. But when you don't then go and fix what actually caused the fucking problem, flashback to the reflection, to the insides, when we don't address what's going on inside, the chaos externally just comes back. The mess externally just comes back. We are putting ourselves in a cycle of stupidity. And then we're like, I don't know why I can't figure it out. Okay. Are we kidding? Are we really kidding? So, let's talk about the practicality of this, practical application. Okay. Obviously, when we're talking about having a really messy office or a really messy barn or neglecting the dishes in the kitchen or whatever that is, we can come back and we can say, if I'm not putting things away, if I'm not taking regular action to maintain things in a way that I know best serves me, perhaps this external dysregulation is a reflection of internal dysregulation. So we can go through ways to regulate our nervous system. We can use intuitive tapping, EFT. You can do actual memorize important patterns. You can do all of that and learn the things and take the time, or you can just intuitively tap. Because when we use our intuition to tap, it helps us to regulate our nervous system and our emotions. And when we're doing it from a place of intuition, we end up hitting the exact acupressure points that our nervous system needs in the moment. Any kind of intuitive action is going to be helpful. So, dysregulation on the outside, dysregulation on the inside. We can also meditate. We can journal. We can take a step outside and go for a nice nature walk and just breathe in fresh air. There's so many things we can do to regulate ourselves. And when we regulate ourselves, we begin to act in regulated manners that produce regulated external realities, including clean offices, clean kitchens, etc., etc., etc. Right? Now, let's practically apply this same concept to solving the problem with your horse. Okay. Your horse is having a problem. Sometimes, guys, nobody likes this. Sometimes your horse's problem is 100% directly related to you. You are the problem. Sometimes it's not even entirely a physical problem. And this is kind of what I started talking about the other night in the intuitive healing session. I think a lot of people talk about holistic care and they think of things like, not using processed foods, not using heavily processed grain products. They think about providing mostly forage, which is great. They think about eliminating chemicals from their horses' lives, chemical products in like the whole gambit. A lot of times we think holistic, and what we think that means is taking out a bunch of garbage that's in our lives, whether it's our lives or our horses' lives. And yes, amen, 100%, that is a factor. But really, holistic is about looking at the whole being. The whole being has many aspects. It has a physical aspect. It has a mental aspect. It has an emotional aspect. It has an energetic aspect. There are pieces of the whole. And so often when we're on this hunt for the solution, we get caught up with one aspect, one singular aspect, okay? And this one singular aspect is usually something physical. It's usually, they're limping. They have some kind of skin fungus, something going on. They have disproportionate sides. So they have asymmetry from side to side. They have postural stance issues. They have those kinds of things. We have a hard time fitting a saddle. We're looking at like these very physical symptoms and expecting to be able to solve them from only that physical plane instead of the whole entire creature. And again, sometimes the horse's problem is you. You are the problem. The horse is your mirror, just like your external reality mirrors your internal reality, okay? So when the horse is anxious and people are out there going, I need the best calming thing we've got. What do we have? Is there a paste? Is there a grain? What can I feed them? What supplements exist? Well, what if you just regulated yourself and dealt with your own anxiety? Because anxiety is like, I don't know, are we calling it an epidemic nowadays? Like, everybody got anxiety, which to some extent, everybody should have anxiety. And I don't mean that like everybody should be freaking out. I mean, we are here as living, breathing, feeling beings. At some point or another, everybody should be feeling a level of anxiety. And that's just because you're a human and you go through emotions. And that being said, the people that say, I don't have anxiety. I mean, are you sure about that? Because I can tell you that I was someone who was like, I don't have anxiety. I don't have anxiety. Because what I saw was people with anxiety having full-blown panic attacks. I saw my husband unable to drive down the expressway without having a panic attack, like nearly passing out. Like, that's anxiety. I don't have that. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I still deal with anxiety. The difference is now I'm able to recognize it because I have awareness, right? Before I didn't have the awareness to see it. And so, you know, everybody just manifests it a little bit differently. My anxiety was more of a I don't sit still, which everybody was like, good job, keep going. You're kicking ass, taking names. How do you do all these things? It's so amazing. Anxiety, right? ADHD anxiety. So again, let's rein it in and think like, yes, we can reflect and what are we bringing to the table emotionally and energetically? What are we bringing to the table that is affecting our horse negatively? Now, these very physical symptoms might not be a direct line from energetic or emotional, but they are still an impact from the external world. So when we have a physical symptom manifesting on the external, we get to look at the internal. What is going on inside? And I don't just mean like, obviously with x-rays and ultrasound. I mean like, how is the nervous system function? Is your horse's nervous system dysregulated and overstimulated? Is their nutrition on point? How is their digestion functioning? All of these systems work together and they create the external manifestation. So, for example, your horse can be having a disparity in range of motion where, let's say, because I actually had a client where we went through this, where I believe it was her left hind was always just a couple inches shorter in stride than everything else. And they did all kinds of tests, okay? CT scans, x-rays, ultrasounds, you name it, they did it. And what it came down to was she had a nutritional deficiency that was creating a set of circumstances in her neck that was directly impacting what was going on in her hind legs range of motion. There wasn't an actual problem there. There wasn't even an actual problem in her neck. But when we solved the nutritional deficiency, what do you know? Nutritional deficiency wasn't the only thing, though, because it's usually not just one thing, right? Just like saying that it's our emotional regulation, right? Like, I might be dysregulated and that's why my house is dysregulated, but why am I dysregulated? We can ask that question too. So with this horse, it was, okay, but why does she have a nutritional deficiency? Oh, because her entire lifestyle is out of whack, because she's not getting enough turnout time. She's not getting any friends. She's not getting, like, she wasn't getting a whole list of things, and that contributed to a physical lameness. So instead of being like, treating the symptom, my house is dysregulated, my house is an absolute disaster, I'm going to clean my house, which, yes, obviously we need to do to get to a reset point. But why stop there? Right? And this is the same thing when we're talking about the horse with the nutritional deficiency. We could just load her up with a supplement and call it good. And it would work, at least for a little while. But why would we stop there when we can solve the fucking problem and change that whole lifestyle situation, which is exactly what we did, right? Because then once the lifestyle changes, when she's given all of the things that her lifestyle requires, the load on the nervous system, the digestive system, the circulatory system, the respiratory system, it ripples through all of the systems. So yes, we start with a symptom. We identify that symptom and we can treat that, because there is something to fixing the quality of life here and now in this moment and giving us a launching pad to be able to create this complete overhaul and change, right? But if we don't take action, eventually that symptom that we've solved it, it's just a temporary fix, and it's just going to lead to more problems down the road. And then we're going to be sitting there going, well, this horse just has so many problems. There's just so many problems. How do we fix one? Well, really, usually when you've got so many problems, it's the overhaul that's necessary. And once you do the overhaul, which can be as simple as like turn out in a pasture 24/7 for now, like for a week, for 2 weeks, for a month, whatever that is. It can be one big overhaul, because like this particular horse that I was talking about that had this little tiny disparity, which she was an upper level dressage horse. So this tiny disparity changes a lot about her form, function, and performance. And not to mention, when we have a tiny disparity like this, and it goes unnoticed for a long time, it eventually becomes a big disparity, which becomes a bigger problem throughout the entire body to fix, right? So this particular horse, her living conditions were such that she was getting no turnout time. She lived in a stall 23 hours a day. And then for an hour, she got out to exercise. And that wasn't even always being ridden. Sometimes it was just being put on a hot walker. That's it. No friends. No socialization. No sunshine. No frolicking. No stretching her legs. So for her to simply overhaul was like just throw her out of pasture, move her to a different facility, put her in a pasture. And that did not make her owner comfortable at all. That's not even exactly what they did, because her owner was so uncomfortable. But she went from having 1 hour of out of the stall time that was not turnout to having several hours of turnout. Eventually, I think she worked it up over a couple weeks, and then she felt good about putting her out there, But quite frankly, horses are horses, guys. They need their turnout time, right? They need their socialization time. And they are a whole being with many pieces. Separation is the illusion. We are very complex beings with many layers and many pieces. And when we address just one, we're doing everyone involved a disservice, especially ourselves. We're running ourselves ragged, trying to keep up with correcting the same problem over and over and over. Why? Why do we do that to ourselves? And usually we do that to ourselves because we don't feel safe doing it any other way. Because the way our brains work says, I didn't die yesterday. So if I just keep doing what I did yesterday, I'm not going to die, right? But we are in charge here. We are sovereign beings, and we can choose to make a choice, choose to make a change, and even choose to employ safety and put safety into our body to make that change. And that is what lasting change is all about. And you guys, this is the premise of Equine Alchemy. And even more so is the premise of the Intuitive Equine Bodywork Certification Program. Equine Alchemy comes in and helps you where you're at right now. Maybe you don't have a desire to be certified. Maybe that's way out of your goals in life. But maybe you do want to help your horse, and you do want to be a healer, and you want to help other people's horses, and you have a goal of being certified. Then you still might need this perspective shift and shifting yourself so that you are able to better show up and shift the needs of your horses and other horses and the people around you even. Because you can't shift them if you don't see them. And if we're sitting here saying that what we see is one external symptom, we're missing it. We're missing it all, right? Because it is very true that our internal reality is reflected in the external reality around us. So stop changing the external when you're on the journey of seeing what's going on inside of you. You look around and you see what's going on, and you're like, I just fix it out here. It's fine. It's like, It's like just putting paint over a dirty wall. We're not going to wash it. We're just going to paint over it. The dirt's going to come back. The paint's not going to stick. The paint's not going to stick, you guys. When you paint over a dirty wall, the paint doesn't stick. It just peels off. When you change your external reality, that is the same thing. You're changing the external, and the paint will just peel right off, and you'll be right back where you started. So, happy Tuesday. Hope that made sense to you. And if you haven't yet, grab your ticket to Equine Alchemy. We start on Monday with an opening ceremony. If you can attend that, great. If you can't, that's okay. Replays are available. And guys, guess what? The program opens tomorrow. I'm letting everybody in tomorrow because it's ready for you now. So opening ceremony on Monday, program opens with all the goodies tomorrow. Be there, be square. I'll drop the link later. Okay. TTFN. Have a great Tuesday.